What is up, everybody? I wanted to go ahead and get the build video out for the Imbue build that I've been working on. Technically the past couple months, but really wasn't. I took a bit of a break in between. So let's go ahead and go over this. I wanted to. I came up with this back when they did those Imbue changes, and I started it then. And like I said, I played it off and on, and then I took a break for a bit, and finally wanted to move on to different life. So I wanted to circle back and make the video and move on. So what we have here is we've got an idea of going for maximum Imbue damage. And I normally sit in the lightning Imbue. So I'm going to start from the beginning pretty quickly here and just run through the feats I took. As they're not too hard to understand. I just had all these closed out. I went back and opened them all up. So feat wise, I took precision for all my bonus wizard feats. I did take these metamagics. As you're cleared and leveling epically, the dragon breath that I have here works relatively well for clearing basic mobs, so I took it. And then eventually I got down to be able to take precise shot, improved precise shot, rapid reload, rapid shot, all the basic point blank shot, all the basic ranged feats. So weave those in and out throughout the build, and you'll be just fine. You do have to pay attention a little bit to your base attack bonus as you're leveling up, because being 15 wizard, you don't have a super high base attack bonus. But let's get into how we got to our 42 Imbue dice, because that's what I ended up as. 43 when I got my self-barred buffer casting an extra scroll on me for an extra one Imbue dice. But for this purposes, 42. So let's break that down. So we go drow for your race because you can build in 2 bonus Imbue dice through the drow. So spend your racial points all the way up there to get the bonus dice. Then your main tree is going to be Inquisitive, as you gain bonus dice through going all the way through the core, as well as leveling up your law dice here. So you do grab a bonus dice at 12, 18, and then you grab another one at the capstone. And then for bonus dice here, you grab one here, and 2 up here. So you get a total from 7 from the Inquisitor tree. For my Eldritch Knight tree, you don't have to spend a lot of points in here to get your dice. You literally just need the elemental spell sword, and then that gives you your dice at 3, 6, 12, 9, 12, 15 onwards, based on how far you go into wizard. So we grabbed them from there. The Harper agent was just for the intel hit to attack. So, and I grabbed know the angles. You very well, if you could get enough attack bonus from elsewhere, you could probably scrap this and try to build it into somewhere else. You do take 2 rogues so that you can get into the assassin tree and grab your 3 dice here from the assassin tree. And then I also went ranger so I could get into arcane archer and spend 12 more action points to grab 4 more Imbue dice. You grab 2 here and 2 here, and some free bonus universal spell power because I'm using the spell sword, so my Imbue dice are scaling at spell power. So that is the makeup of the dice from my action points. From my destiny trees, you grab 1 in here from the legendary dreadnought, and you grab 3 in here from your draconic incarnation. Like I said, I spent quite a bit of points in here because it was nice having the dragon breath leveling up, since you do focus spell power. You don't focus a bunch of bonus caster levels, so that's kind of the downfall of that, but it still was helpful. And then I also grabbed the double wellspring duration, because I did end up taking that. Actually, and then you mainly focus on Shrouded Champion here, because when you're doing this mantle for the 7x77 extra damage, your Imbue dice actually scale that up as well. Every 7 bonus Imbue dice give you an extra die 77, so our 7 die 77 is actually 13 die 77, and it actually adds up to be some pretty decent boost to your force damage procs there. But all of this part is pretty basic besides grabbing the extra Imbue dice. You're looking to maximize your range power and range damage, so Shirati is definitely the way to go. The rest is just some extra Imbue dice, as well as some extra Imbue dice and spell power from Draconic. Epic feat wise, Destiny Feats, I took double shot, because more shots give you more imbue procs. Enhanced elemental dice at 31, epic spell power for electricity, and Harbinger of Chaos, because since I'm chaotic, I grabbed 2 dice from there as well. And then my legendary feat, I took the Plane of Air, which also grants you 3 imbue dice there. And then the final spot that I can grab imbue dice from is my gear. 2 different spots I can grab from my gear. I grabbed it from the legendary Profane Experiment set bonus that gives you 3 imbue dice. And then you can get imbue dice from filigree sets as well. And I've actually got on my half-made Excel sheet a better look at that breakdown for how I get to those imbue dice. So like I said, I didn't fill this out quite to the level I normally do, but how you get there is right here. If you want to take a look at it, filigree does make a part. You get 8, so you break up your filigrees into 4 different smaller sets to grab 2 from each of them. And that's how you get to the imbue dice. So like I said, other than that, you focus on double shot and spell power. Again, spell power affects the imbue itself. The higher the spell power, the higher the proc, and double shot obviously gives you more procs. So double shot ended up at 65%. I definitely think there's room to improve. I'm going to show you my gear here in a second. I totally think you could optimize this gear way better than I've done. Like I said, I kind of wanted to move on from this build, but I kind of wanted to try to finish it. So I leveled it up to 32 and grabbed some gear. Nothing very specific to it, short of my set bonuses and my filigrees. And then my spell power, my electric spell power is normally around that 700 to 750 range, depending on what I have on, and buffs and whatnot. So right now it's sitting at 696. I definitely think there's room to improve there too. So if I went to gear, like I said, I grabbed what I could. The legendary Nightshade shooter is what I've got. I know there's a better crossbow out there. I'd particularly go after the one that reduces either vulnerability or MRR, as that will scale your damage better. A lot of this is just some extra fill in to get set bonuses as well. Spring Storms for my electric spell power. I also switch it out for cold if I ever switch. I normally bounce between electric and cold. The rest of this gear, like I said, pretty basic gear. They're trying to maximize spell power or double shot or just some extra attack and damage to be able to hit things. You do have to make sure that you've got your legendary Profane Experiment on. That's really about the only crucial piece to this. The rest of this gear is all filler gear that you can choose what you want to run. I do want to talk just real quick about the build of how it went. Heroic leveling, the build was really fun. I think I've got a couple heroic videos I'm going to post with this too, just some real short ones to show the damage, because even low Reaper leveling up, your imbue damage scales very fast. That's kind of why I was expecting it to scale further at endgame, but it does not. At least I did not. I wasn't able to. This build was really fun epically when you're not in high Reaper, because Reaper just shreds your imbue damage and does not make it very valuable, and you don't have the crit modifiers as well as just the flat range power to be able to produce damage without your imbue. But in terms of, I've got a raid video I'm going to post as well, in terms of endgame raiding when it's not Reaper, it's pretty fun. You do a decent amount of damage. It's not like fantastic, but it's definitely fun and playable. The real fun part about leveling up and scaling and going through epic and heroic, well, really epic because you don't get it heroically, is improved precise shot. Improved precise shot has a 20% less damage to range attacks. I'm not 100% certain, but I am pretty sure that it does not affect your imbue damage. And since when you're leveling up, you really don't care about your first number damage at all, it pays you no negative to keep improved precise on so that you have maximum imbue damage. Endgame, it is nice to switch to Archer's Focus every now and then, especially when you're on bosses, to get the extra range power, because the range power does funnel into your Sharadi Mantle procs, and those end up being pretty big procs. But that's really about all I've got for this build. It was fun. I know that there's builds out here that do it's kind of similar with Alchemist over Wizard. I think you could go either way. Alchemist, you can technically get a couple more dice because they've got some spell buffs that give them more dice. But I opted to go this way to have the ability to be switching through my elements, either for vulnerability or immunities. But like I said, I think you can go whichever way you want. You are super squishy with this build, and but it was fun. It was fun playing it. And it's fun at the end game in terms of non-Reaper play. But if you're after Reaper play, I probably would stick away from Imbue. But let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I know this is kind of a not super polished end game. I just was trying to put the idea out there and how it went, and then move on to my next idea. But let me know what you think in the comments if you have any questions, or I'm sure there are plenty of ways that this one could have improved. But thanks. Catch you guys next time.